Hello friends, welcome to WatchMojo Play. Today I will talk about 5 top scary movies of counting down our recommendations for the greatest head-turning, blood-curdling, and scream-inducing horror flicks of 2024.
Who's next?
Whoever can take this alone, because you will need this. This one will be a thrilling ride. Without further delay, let's jump onto it. And oh, yes, spoiler alert.
Whoa! She's fucking flying!
The first film I will discuss is the American dark fantasy film named Damsel.
It is this sacrifice we commemorate every generation.
Directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo and written by Dan Mazo. It began streaming on Netflix on March 8, 2024. If you are a dark fantasy lover, you should not miss this one.
I smell it in your blood.
In the film, Millie Bobby Brown, who is also the main protagonist of this film, plays Elodie, a young lady and a princess of a kingdom. This princess is getting married to a prince from a mighty kingdom. This prince's father, played by Ray Winstone, was very happy about it because he thought his kingdom's fate would be changed if Elodie married someone from this kingdom. Elodie agreed to this marriage.
I present my son and new daughter, Elodie, Princess of Oren.
Even unwillingly, to change the situation of her kingdom. And in the process of her marriage, these people leave for another kingdom. When coming close to this island, they saw some dragons in this sea storm. After arriving on this island, they were given a royal room to rest. In the morning, the queen tells Elodie's dad that, "I agree to this relationship, and we will get them married tomorrow. I want to talk to you about this." After which the prince, played by Nick Robinson, and Elodie go to talk to each other. While talking, these people reach a hill, and Elodie tells the prince that yesterday, "I saw fire in the mountains on the other side."
Something high on the mountain last night. Torches.
Prince says, "Yes, those mountains are very important. There are some old rituals inside a cave, which will be there even after our marriage, and we will go there on the day of our marriage." Next, we saw in this movie that the queen put a cut on both Prince and Elodie's hands, and joined their hands. And tells them that from now on, you both have become one.
And fast become one.
Prince carries Elodie in his arms. Elodie was embarrassed, but she was also very happy because she didn't know what was going to happen to her the next second. Prince picked up Elodie and dropped her in a pit. As soon as she fell, Elodie fainted. When she regains consciousness, she shouts for help.
Is anyone there?
And there was a sleeping dragon who regained consciousness with her voice. Thereafter, Elodie's continuous struggle to survive being eaten by that dragon covers the basic premises of this breathtaking dark fantasy movie. There she finds many secrets. What are those secrets? And should she ever come out alive from that pit? Was the story of this dragon and why it was there? All these answers we'll find on Netflix. The First Omen. Moving on to the next one. The First Omen. If you are a horror or supernatural movie lover, thank me later. Hold on to your breath, you all going to have a wild ride. This Arkasha Stevenson directed movie is a feast for horror lovers.
What's not real? Who said that?
This movie is about a young American lady, Margaret, played by Nell Tiger-Free, who is sent to Rome to start a life of service to the church. But there she experiences a darkness that makes her doubt her beliefs and unearths a horrifying plot intended to bring forth the incarnation of evil. Let's dive deep into its horrifying world.
What does any of this have to do with Carlita?
At the beginning of this story, Father Brennan, played by Ralph Ineson, has come to meet another priest who has committed a very big sin. When asked about it, this priest shows Father Brennan a picture of a little girl. The picture was normal, but it was not a girl. The priest tells Father Brennan that this girl was not naturally born. The name of this girl was Shauna, about whom he does not tell anything to Father Brennan. And goes into a deep thought. In the flashbacks of his thoughts, we get to see a girl. The girl's whole clothes were taken off and black cloth was tied to her eyes. The people standing in front of her were performing some ritual. When he breaks out from his thoughts, he wants to tell Father Brennan about the girl named Shauna.
You don't have to be afraid. This child is his way.
Suddenly, a pole behind him breaks and collides with a mirror. And the same pole hits his head, which causes him to death. Many years after this, we are shown the scene of Rome in 1971. At this time, the people of Rome were protesting for civil rights. At this time, Sister Margaret comes from America to Rome, where she has to take oaths to become a nun. She had to promise in front of everyone that she would spend her life as a nun. Now she comes to the orphanage, where she notices that most of them are girls who live in this orphanage. She is made to meet two sisters here, who take her room while visiting the orphanage. Then she meets a girl named Carlita. Carlita was very strange in appearance, as if her mental condition was not good. She was making scary sketches sitting there. We find out that Carlita is crazy because now she has started licking Margaret while standing, and in this way, the sister takes her away from Margaret. Days go by, and Margaret is trying to settle down here in the orphanage, but every passing day, something strange happened to her.
I believe the girl is to be the mother.
Mother of what?
One night Margaret goes to a party with her roommate. She does something ominous and faints there, but when she regains consciousness she forgets about that night. After facing all these, one day she meets Father Brennan. He assigned her to find something. Following that, Margaret goes to a secret room where he finds files of Shauna, the same files that Father Brennan asked him to bring, but the funny thing is that there were 14 files of a girl named Shauna on all files. There was a 666 mark, which is a devil mark. These 14 Shauna girls were born on the 6th of June. 13 out of these 14 were born with the devil mark. All the girls were killed and 14th was alive. Shauna 14 was born 12 years ago, and Carlita was also 12 years old. Margaret now understands why Carlita looks so adult to the rest of the kids, because she is the daughter of the devil. Margaret was able to understand a lot of things.
Child is his way.
But a lot of questions were still in her mind. She picks up all the files from here, takes Carlita, and starts trying to escape from here. But the nuns cast an evil eye on her. Here the nuns catch them. At that time, Carlita screams, and at this time Margaret sees this 666 mark in her mouth. This confirms that Carlita is Scania 14 and she is the devil's daughter. Margaret is also kept in another room. If you want to find out what happens next, you need to watch his movie.
This child is his way.
The next one on our list is a horror thriller film named Abigail.
A ballerina vampire.
Directed by Matt Bettinelli-Alpin and Tyler Gillett. At the beginning of the movie, we see a teenage girl named Abigail, played by Alicia Weir, kidnapped by 6 people. They take her to Abigail's dad's mansion, where the mastermind of his kidnapping, Lambert, played by Giancarlo Esposito, is already feeding them. He had planned that instead of kidnapping Abigail, he will ask for $50 million from her rich dad. After getting the money, he will give them their share, but till then this group of 6 people had to keep Abigail tied up in the mansion. Lambert tells them that Abigail's eyes will be blindfolded and no one will go to her room other than Joey, played by none other than Melissa Barrera. And Lambert leaves. Joey goes to Abigail's room, removes the blindfold on her eyes, and breaks a rule of the leopard. Abigail is so scared. To relax her, Joey says the pinky promise that she won't hurt her and won't let anyone hurt her. They bond well. Joy told her that she had a son like her. Abigail said to her that her dad, a little weird, he was angry, and he was dangerous. Joey finds these things a little weird and he comes downstairs and everyone says, I guess Abigail's dad is a dangerous person. After all, we kidnapped her, we should know whose daughter we kidnapped. Frank goes to Abigail's room and asks her dad's name, pointing gun towards her head. After hearing Abigail's dad's name, he starts to freak out because he doesn't believe that they kidnapped a very big gangster's daughter. Everyone here had gone mad with fear, except for the driver, because he didn't believe any story here. After a while, he goes to the basement for some work and sees that someone has attacked him. He screams, and the hacker hears his scream. He checked out and found out that the driver was hanged. He comes back and freaks out, saying, we are under attack. Hearing this, Sniper told them that he didn't need any money, and I'm running away. As soon as he and Frank try to get out of this mansion, the advanced security system is activated. Metal shields are placed in front of the windows and doors, which means these people are trapped here.
What the fuck is that thing? We kidnapped a fucking...
These people also knew that there was a killer in the building who was going to kill them. Joey asks Abigail if she knows anything about these attacks. Abigail tells her that Frank is my dad's man. When he came to my room, he threatened me not to tell anyone about this. As soon as she heard this, Joey got angry. Before she goes to Frank, she turns back and sees that the sniper has been murdered as well. Joey gets even more scared and puts Frank at gunpoint. Frank tries to make her understand that girl is playing games with us. She is lying, but Joey is not going to believe her. Abigail watched them fighting and also taking off her handcuffs. And the next second, she turned into a vampire. Seeing this, Frank shoots her, but she heals herself. She saw this, everyone got scared. They come out and lock her in her room. Meanwhile, the gangster of their group somehow catches Abigail from behind and Joey gives her the injection to make her unconscious. After getting consciousness, Abigail found herself in jail. Joey talks with Abigail and asks her, "What do you want?" And at this point, they learn that actually, they did not kidnap Abigail, instead Abigail kidnapped them. Even though Abigail and Lambert planned this whole plan.
She's fucking flying!
It was mainly Abigail's plan. She tells them that they are here because they have somehow harmed her dad. This hacker hacked Abigail's dad's account and stole millions of dollars from him. Frank investigated his dad. Joey did a wrong operation on Abigail's dad under the influence of drugs, which hurt his dad a lot. After all of these, they decide to leave, and to leave, they were also required to find a way out. Will they ever leave this place unharmed? To find out this answer, you have to watch this movie. Arcadian, the fourth movie on our list, a 2024 post-apocalyptic horror film featuring Nicolas Cage as Paul, a single father trying to survive with his twin sons, Joseph Jaden Martell and Thomas Maxwell Jenkins, in a world ravaged by mysterious creatures that attack at night. The movie starts with sirens blaring and explosions resounding in the background, running from what looks to be the end of society in the opening scene. Clutching his two baby boys and telling them they will be okay, he runs away to a secret location. 15 years later, in a secluded farmhouse, Paul lives with his twin sons, Joseph and Thomas. During the day, they enjoy peace, but at night they are afraid. As the sun sets one evening and Thomas fails to return home from the neighboring Rose farm, worry breaks out. He eventually shows up there, and over dinner, it becomes clear that he is the more adventurous of the two brothers.
What do we do?
Are we not men?
Whereas Joseph seems more sophisticated and discusses ways to improve their circumstances beyond merely surviving. It turns out that Joseph has been working on an off-road utility vehicle, which Paul persuades him to show. Paul helps the engine start and it roars to life. Paul insists that Thomas stay at home to help, despite Thomas's protests that he wants to go to the Rose farm, where he secretly has a crush on Charlotte. When they have traveled a sufficient distance, Thomas makes the decision to head home and asks Joseph to meet him in the barn later. But Thomas gets distracted and starts running erratically in an attempt to make it back in time. He loses consciousness in a cave after tripping and falling into a crack. As night falls, Paul searches for him and eventually finds him in the cave, where they decide to spend the night for safety. Joseph successfully captures one of the intruders while he is by himself at home, intending to study it later. Thanks to an explosive that severely hurts Paul, Thomas and Paul can repel the beast's constant onslaught inside the cave. Joseph sees them when he uses the automobile the following morning. After learning about the captured creature and telling Joseph they must destroy it, Thomas and Joseph decide to take care of their unconscious father. The boys then decide to take their father to the Rose farm. Thomas attempts to return it to his father. Someone from the farm catches him at gunpoint as he is leaving. Watch Arcadian to know the rest of the story.
What are they doing?
On our list, the last but not least movie is titled Tarot.
Whose face will you see? When you take your last
directed the 2024 American supernatural horror thriller Tarot, which also marks the director's feature film debuts. It is based on Nicholas Adams' 1992 book Horoscope. The narrative centers on a group of college students who, after utilizing an odd tarot card, start to brutally die one by one. They have to figure out the mystery surrounding the deck before time runs out. Tarot was released in the United States by Sony Pictures, releasing on May 3, 2024. The cast in this movie is Harriet Slater as Haley, Adane Bradley as Grant, Jacob Batalon as Paxton, and Avantika as Paige. In this movie, for Elisa's birthday, a group of friends Haley, Grant, Paxton, Paige, Madeline, Lucas, and Ellis rent a mansion in the Catskills. After Haley and Grant's recent separation, the group decides to distress by having Haley read their horoscopes using an odd tarot card box that they found in the basement. They choose to move forward as Elise suggests, despite Haley's assertion that it is against a tacit tarot rule to use someone else's deck. Elise is the first to receive the reading. She is predicted to climb the ladder of success and become the High Priestess. Lucas, read as the rule breaker gets the Hermit, where Haley also mentions that the Hermit's light may take him on the wrong track. Haley confronts Grant after she finds out he has the tower in his fourth house of the divination board, which is ruining his relationship and causing him to destroy it as well. Grant becomes enraged and tells her to get a reading. Haley finally reads her horoscope, draws the death card, and remarks that she always seems to receive the message that love is going to be the death of her. While everything is on, Paxton walks to the restroom by himself and sees a figure in the dark on the balcony. However, nothing is there. To know the rest of the movie, you have to watch it. That's all for today. Share your favorite horror movie of the year in the comments section. Did you love this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo Play, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be alerted of our latest videos.